Hello. It is a beautiful February day in Long Island. I would say it's about 60 degrees. It's almost like the universe knew that I would become unemployed and presented me with the most beautiful, inspiring weather one could ever have in the middle of winter. I promised you that I would talk about my job search a bit, and I am going to fill you in. I am currently writing my book. It'll be the tell-all book from the girl that nobody really knew. So it's pretty funny. I could promise you it's going to be juicy and good, and it'll have a lot of good intention. So hopefully the goal is to help other people who've struggled with the same things that I have, or struggled with anything, right? Kind of heal and become their best self, which is what I'm in the process of doing. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what types of roles I've been applying for. First off, I don't go on Indeed. We know this. Not yet, anyway. I did make it known on LinkedIn that I was looking. So I've done that. But the only thing that I'm doing right now is following up on leads that people have sent me. I am putting out to the world what I'm looking for. And if you're not clear on what I'm looking for, I understand that. Because what I'm looking for is a job within the realm of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I've explained that I have a master's degree in HR, and to be honest with you, FMLA and benefits and all that stuff is so important to myself as an employee and to everyone else, but it does not bring me joy. It doesn't bring me joy even a little bit. Labor law, pretty interesting, but the compliance part of it all, it's not where my brain is at. I'm meant to be a teacher, and I am meant to develop ideas and work on teams that are really making an impact. So diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is hard for me to say because it's not a popular topic, right? So I happen to think that diversity, equity, and inclusion is a way for companies to just say, we want to fight racism, right? And I legit want to fight racism. I didn't want to in the past. It wasn't a calling of mine. I was actually apathetic to the cause. It's really hard for me coming on here and talking about this because I know there are so many people in my life that are the way I used to be. I was apathetic. I was almost like, are we not past this? And I have news for you. We're not past this. The movement of equality, especially in the workforce, which is where people can earn sustainable livings, right? The movement of equality has so far to go. And if you think that you should not be responsible for what your grandparents did, you are sorely mistaken. The only way we could have change right now is if white people stand up and say, yeah, I get it. I read the books. I understand a little bit now. And to my black and brown colleagues and friends and associates, I see your frustration. I am sorry that you've had to bear this cross all alone. And I see your frustration. I think I might have said that, but these videos can't be perfect, right? My TED Talk is going to develop by practice, and you guys are my practice. So whoever decided to listen to the rest of this, I have recently taken on the personal mission of advocacy for equality. And it sounds great, and so many companies say that's what they want to do, but it's not. It's not. They don't want to have real conversations surrounding race. No, white people are scared of having conversations involving race. We're afraid of saying the wrong thing. I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing. I study it all the time, and I still get afraid. Is it BIPOC? Is it people of color? People of color. That's another one I want to talk about. The great Robin DiAngelo, who wrote White Fragility, she talks about people of color and the fact that white people are so afraid to call themselves white, right? And by doing that, we're kind of setting ourselves as the default race, right? We have black people, brown, Asian, but we don't want to say white, right? We're the default race. Listen, I know I'm a people pleaser who will be pissing off a lot of people with the career that I want to take on. But I can only hope that if I share the fact that I too had so much racism and bias inside of me, and I had to do the work on myself and read the right books and talk to the right people to just get focused in the right direction, right? I have a lot more work to do on myself. But what I'm saying is that we live in a white supremacist culture, and our movies and our news and our media in general reflects that. You're not a bad person if that's the way you feel. And the people, it makes sense that we would deny the need for this movement because we have the most to benefit from it, right? So I will have more on this subject. I also realize that as I discuss more about this subject, there are going to be people who unfollow, don't like, send me negative comments such as holy white guilt, and to them I say nothing. I say nothing because I love you too. You cannot fight this with hate. It's systemic. So if you send me a job lead to a company that does not really uphold these principles that I'm looking for, I will probably apply and then use them on an interview to polish my TED Talk. So I will, I do that on dates too. I call myself the first date killer, right? I use anyone that I could possibly speak to as a sounding board for my mission. And there's a lot of people who would just like to be like, can it be over? I do not recognize racism because it's not in my life. And as a white female in Long Island, where we live predominantly segregated, I didn't recognize it either because it wasn't in my life. It really wasn't affecting me. But I don't want to live like that anymore. And if I can tie my profession into advocacy, that's like the sweet spot, right? So to fill you in, I applied for an internship at a company, an HR consulting company that walks the walk when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So it's not orthodox at all for a person with their master's degree and the eCornell certificate in DEI and a 1.5 year experience in HR to apply for an internship. But I cast my ego aside and realized that I have a lot to learn here, and I'm looking for mentors. I'm not looking for success right now.